Hey there, beloved Ascension pioneers. Welcome to another video of me. And lately I have to say it's very hard for me, very challenging to record a video, to write something, to update you with something. It's just that my life has become this hectic series of events unfolding. It's a good thing actually, because things are starting to move on with my move, with everything, and it takes a lot of things, this whole Friday I've been sitting in meetings for hours and it's been so dense, but at the same time I've been learning how to integrate everything to feel oneness and integration during everything. So this Ascension update will be a lot about what's happening, and I will have to give a brief update on the Star of David alignment, and again it will be prior the event. But after it, after the experience, which, I'm guided again to go for 2 days, to be alone, to be in solitude, to be just by myself, so I can culminate everything, so I can experience things and then report about them and give what I receive further on, and share it with the world, with the rest of you. And let me just say that a lot of people, which I've been now discovering, is reporting in videos, not just Sandra, Walter, and many others. And I think Alenura, what's her name? I've seen a video the Sister of Light sent me, and everybody's saying that they kind of need to be alone. They need this peace. They need to be with Gaia. And today, when I went for a short retreat in the river valley, I received the same card. It was about being in the sort of like a personal Gaia moment and sharing. This is very important right now. So in my life, I've noticed that it's very important now on this level where we are, many of us, is to no longer separate ourselves as beings who are beings of light, and we're to embody divine love. And then, when we go out into the world and things seem dense and very, sometimes we say trivial or third dimensional, whatever we may call them, and we might encounter people who are not like us. This happens to me when I go out in nature as well, because not often you find a piece of solitude just by yourself and a piece of Gaia that you say, oh, today this is just for me. This sometimes happens when it's meant to happen like this. But a lot of times there will also be situations when you will be guided to go, be surrounded by a circle of people. And we've come at a certain stage of our divine love embodiment where we no longer can hold our light in. When you're all good and when you meditate and when you're alone, which is what I'm always saying, I'm so good when I'm alone. But the key here is when we master ourselves enough that when we go out into the world and when we get in interactions with others and when we, share with others in a way that it brings us this feeling that we have to be an integrated human being no matter what. So we don't have to clog our light. We don't have to close up anymore, because this is the way we feel the most light happening. I'll give you a brief update. Lately I'm experiencing a lot of heat in my hands. This always has to do with the heart opening even more, because the heart, is the direct link with the palms, with the hands. So whenever I'm just sitting, I'm feeling immense heat in my hands. Not just the heat wave, which is now happening, and I'll describe that later. But it's also when you feel, when your hands are the separate source of heat and it's just flowing through you. So today I've been at the river valley, and there was a lot of people there. I've managed to get a piece of my own sacred land there. So, even if there's a circle of people, if there's a group of people, we can always find a space that will be just for us. So if something doesn't resonate, don't go there. Don't put energy there. Don't put your intent there. Find, that piece of alchemy when you can create something like a tiny sacred space just for you, even when you're surrounded by a group of people, or in the city, for those of you who live in the city. And just still feel that integration and wholeness with everything. When I go out with my energy in the world, which sometimes it's not an easy thing, people will be there who'll be, what were they doing today? They were having these barbecues in nature. It's not even allowed to put a fireplace there, to create a fire there. And they're doing it in vain, and in spite of all the regulations. And they're preparing their meats, which is like so lacking, sense of imagination. That's all they can eat, and the people are smoking marijuana and all of those things. There'll always be people like that, and it's summer, and all brands of people come out. So when you can find that sacred space in the midst of all of their sacred spaces, which is what they're creating for themselves. You know, for them, that is a sacred space as well. That's all they know on that level. So when we can become this unattached, neutral, totally surrendered being of divine integration, so when we reach inner wholeness, it doesn't matter. We will be always kind of asked to exercise this, to utilize how to bring our light into the densest of environments. And I've been doing this, you know, I've been practically living in the city for 30 years. You know, I'm going to be 30 now, soon. So the thing is that without this, you know, it's not the same. Because in the end, it's all about the experience of self-mastery. And a master will never close their vehicle of love just because the situations or surroundings will feel a certain way. You know, I don't imagine Joshua going around giving his lectures and teachings and sharing love with the people and his disciples, and when the experiences were dense, he clogged off and he said, I'm not going to do it here, let's choose somewhere where there's more light. Well, when there's darkness, you're supposed to bring light. So today I was challenged to meditate in the middle of the river stream, and there were people there, and easily they saw me. And I was noticing how my energy fields are reacting. So when I was sitting there in the middle of the river, and whenever, you know, because I feel energy, I know how to work with energy, so when I do this, I will feel it, because there's no energy running through me, through the palms, through the sensation on my spine, through shivers, and these tiny pulsations, they're like circulatory in your spine. And when this stops, you know that you have closed something down. You've shut something off. So when I've noticed this, I can say, okay, releasing, you know, inviting light in. And then immediately it came. And I was buzzing even amidst all of that, which was external. And I said, I am here to be the embodiment of divine love, no matter what, no matter where. I am this light. It flows through me constantly, because we did not come here to be this love embodied. It's situations that feel pleasant, and then when it doesn't feel pleasant for us, you know what, we'll just shut it off. Thank you. You know, we would say no thank you. We came here to be that at all times, and although that's not always so easy for many of us, especially the sensitive ones, we need to continue to master ourselves. We need to continue to do those little exercises and practices that'll make us more and more empowered. And you'll notice that the more that you share yourself, actually you're influencing the people around you. My mom just told me this story that she shared with the women on the organic market that she goes to every week. She shared something about me going to the mountains and sleeping there in nature and how I share my adventures. And the woman asked, wow, is she religious? And my mom said, no, we all have it here. And she said, exactly. She said, I've been telling this to people all my life. And, you know, she's this older woman. And my mom was like, oh, great, there's people who are open, who know this, you know, maybe they're just not comfortable speaking it, and we're those, you know, we're those conduits of light that are, and not just on the video, not just on the internet when it feels safe, but always, you know, even the people who might seem the densest, sometimes will they surprise us, because the moment we let ourselves be who we truly are, no matter what, no matter the external, we will be surprised. And I guarantee you that, because it happened to me a lot of times. When you won't project and have these fears of how people or the surroundings will react, you will get surprised. Even if it's just a tiny thing, you know, continue pushing it forward, because it will grow, it will expand, it will continue to surprise you, and it will just get better and better each time. And the other thing I want to address, of course, besides this, is what is happening now in our skies with the Star of David alignment. Actually, everywhere in line, I'm not really guided, or let's say life isn't making it so for me that I have time for the videos right now in this stage and phase in my life. But I did see, and there were a few astrologers who, you know, who didn't even know, but they were kind of informed about it, and they made a research about it. So what's happening? And I keep asking Spirit to reveal something to me about it, to feel something to give back to all of you. But today I didn't receive anything. Again, I said, I'm going to go to the river valley. And I just ended up sleeping there for 3 hours because I was so exhausted from the physical week that I was having with all my errands, you know. We are transforming things in the physical. So if I have to relocate, I will have to do it in the physical. Sometimes, you know, our body needs to be very strong for that. And if we lack sleep and we lack proper time for ourselves, which of course I was attending to this week. I was giving myself the proper balance, but I was still tired. And I was just sleeping there. So again, when I woke up, I wanted to do it and it felt forced. And then I asked Spirit, then why am I not receiving anything? Why is it feels like time is clogging up on me, that I don't have enough time to do this, to do the updates and the newsletter before I head out and experience this on my own. And actually it was something very surprising and very simple, because in the end it's always about the personal experience. And I was always the way shower for this. I can tell what's happening, and we can all look at the astrology pages and the videos and whatever, but in the end, it will always be, what is your intimate experience about it? Are you on the path of feeling it? How will you feel it through? For me personally, I decide to be in it, but not just on the date when we say, oh, the alignment will be the strongest and the most amplified on that date. It is happening already. It's just that it will be the most distinct on that day. But it will affect us in months ahead and the years ahead, of course. It's going to go beyond 2015. And the only thing that I felt was that because the Star of David alignment, it's the Star of David, if you consisted of two triangles, as above, so below, the feminine, by masculine. It's like your perfect template for your twin soul, divine feminine, divine masculine embodiment, and your integration of your beingness as one. You are a whole, unique, divine marriage partner. And just today I've received, again, a sacred union, partnership, wedding, oracle card, and then I went for a morning run. And when I found this fitness equipment, which, of course, at the beginning I was complaining about, because it's not natural to put it there. And then today I was guided to go and do some physical exercises, because I feel that my body needs to be strong my spirit is so strong, but the body needs to support it. So lately I'm really guided to exercise a lot and be active, and go to the mountains and run and swim and all of those things. And there was a feather there at the machines. And I pick it up, and it was a swan, perfectly white, big swan feather, because there's swan at that lake. And I was thinking, wow, it's all coming together, because just lately I was receiving messages for those of us who are very much in the shifting, but we're shifting things in the physical. So because we're doing it in the physical, the I am presence is embodying in the physical. It's not all going to be anymore about meditating all the time. There's still people who are saying, I need to be alone with myself. All I need to do is don't eat, purge, and meditate. Those of us who've been there, done that, we're now filling ourselves with the light, and we're making it physical. And we're making actual physical steps. I said we're beyond just the purging process. We're in the filling ourselves with something new. So this is happening, in the physical, especially in the physical, of course. And in this process, like I said, a lot of times we are so in what's happening and so much in the denser realms, because of course we're bringing light there, that we forget to feel the essence, the magic. A lot of people are reporting about this now, because the key here is to dive deep enough to bring that light into that. But the key is also not to get lost there. So kind of like I said, to merge the higher self, the lower self, and to live continuously in that merge, the marriage between the two. So creating something new, divine birth, divine child. And in that state, we really are our true selves. We are our unique source spark. I'm sorry, I'm scratching myself because of the mosquitoes. They bit me. And there's some people coming there, so I'll pause for a bit. Just observing the nature. So the key here is to be in that sacred balance. And like I said, because a lot of us have been so much in those things, we have a bit, not forgotten, but we didn't focus so much energy and intent on the beloved energy. Beloved energy, like Spirit has shared with me, needs to be constantly re-evoked. So the magic that we feel, the things that we say, the things we are diving ourselves deep in, and it has to do with every day getting just a bit of the energy there. Okay, just like I did 2 days ago, I wrote a short poem to just ignite. It's like when you create a fire and then you have to add wood to it constantly. It's kind of like that. We are it, we know it, but we're kind of adding to it every day. So the more physical that we get, we can't forget to tend to the spiritual. And again, no more seeing it as a separate thing. It's all both one. It's all one. And about the Star of David alignment, I feel it really has to do a lot, because it's about the movement, of the sacred star, and realizing ourselves as these beings that have this divine template that we need to really embody. So be in that state where we can actually, like I see it, you know, in the old we had, was it Renaissance? I don't know. We had the human, you know. It's also in the Da Vinci, you know, so it has the human with the arms widespread, and it's actually, when you draw it, it's like a 5-pointed star. But where we're shifting now, it's like in towards the 6-pointed star. So it's also the component of our etheric self, of our light body self. So the integration of that aspect which the humanity has forgotten. So how I feel it for now, and it will be an intimate experience which I will share later on next week after I come back home, and to see if I received anything else. And I want to do some automatic writing about it, which now I just did not come. We cannot force spirit. Spirit has its own way of operating through us, and it's all perfect. So what was happening, how I felt it myself was like reopening to that true self, and this like in a cultivation point of bringing forth that energy. And a lot of people are mentioning Sirius, and I have these books from Patricia Corey that are about the Syrian revelations and the Syrian teachings, and there's the 6-pointed star there. And Sister Kara of Light, you know, Kara Shalak, has shared in her latest Ascension note that this star is now coming through as this Vortex Gate from the Sirius, so the Syrian emissaries of light are now taking it over. But how I feel it is everybody's still included in this whole ascension or birthing process. So it feels like there's so much assistance, and it can be really amplified, but it's important for us to take enough time to notice it. You know, the key when you go somewhere to be alone, it's not to, I can only experience it when I'm alone. I can experience it, you know, in the dense places or when someone else. It's just that it's easier to shift our energy to be fully devoted to that. So those of us who are in the service, when we go, when we just connect ourselves with Gaia, it's just that we move consciousness towards really, really merging and being present and attentive to just that. It doesn't mean that we can't do other things, but it means that at this really much important alignment or whatever it is, we're focusing to be there, to be fully present with all of our soul essence, with all our fragments, all coming in as one, all complete. So I feel it's like this entrance into all of our soul fragments coming together, you know, and shifting from this 5-star pointed being to this 6-star original divine human blueprint template, and the opportunity that is gonna, you know, be just offered beyond just this date. It's never about the dates, it's about the activation. It's about the activation entries, you know, the vortices, the gateways that we then later step into and align with. And we need to be conscious to do that. We need to consciously merge and fuse with that. And like I said, I feel it's also very linked, not just with the Sirius, and of course it is happening when the Sirius is the brightest in our skies, because just this last week, you know, when I was driving to my mountain escapade, I had my radio on, and the moment that I turned it a bit on, they were talking about the weather, and they were addressing why it's this heat wave now. And the weatherman said, he explained that this phenomena is not just directly linked with the sun, with the solar heating, but actually with the star Sirius. And the Sirius is actually influencing our atmosphere in a way that this heat wave is created. And it's, of course, in the constellation of Canis Majors. And it's very important, and that's what we call it, the dog days, you know, here, the dog heat, the dog wave, whatever you are calling it with your own language. But the importance here being is not just that. I felt it's also like, because it's alignment, you know, when you look at it astrologically, it's alignment of the planets. So it's all of us linking with our different planetary fragments and sources of our, you know, when the human being was first created, there was this drawing forth different essences from different planetary structures, from different seedings. You know, it was a project of seeding the Homo sapiens race. And Homo luminaries was back then, you know, it wasn't really the Homo sapiens that was after. That was what we thought it was, but actually it was Homo luminaries. It was this perfect light being, the perfected light being. And it's like this opportunity. It's not just in our skies, because, you know, as above, so below. It's opportunity for us to really embody it in the physical, to reconnect back with all those fragments of us, with these planetary or constellation or whatever you call it, templates and the basis for our true human genome, which is now returning. Okay guys, this is all I have for today. This is all that Spirit is telling me to do. I'm guided to stop this video now. I'm asking you to feel what you feel within your own heart. If you're guided to do a sacred ceremony or whatever you're going to do it. I'm probably going to go hiking a day prior to it, and then I'm probably going to sleep somewhere, you know, and then I'm just going to next day going to stay by the water or something like that, really just being present, you know, because when I walk, it's nice and it's meditation as well on its own. But I really, really want to be present. I want to do some writing about it. So I'm sorry it didn't come through earlier, because, you know, it's not coming from me to you anyway. It will come to you through your own spirit. You have your own answers. Your soul is guiding you to where you need to be, and it's never about where you need to be, because where we are, it's just about how it will serve us best to be reconnected and to keep reconnecting the most and plugging in to where we truly are anyway all the time. It's about the focus, you know, of your direction of energy. So it's not so much about where you will be. But if you are guided to be somewhere special, listen to your soul, follow it, and after my return, I'll connect with all of you again. I'll share if I will have something to share. If not, that'll be perfect as well. Because, you know, in the new, everything is always perfect. You know, sometimes we think, oh, I'm not so connected as I used to be, but that's not true. It's just that when we were still connecting to our higher selves, we felt more energy directed towards it. Now our energy is more directed towards embodiment. So sometimes it feels more physical, but that's it. We will see what will be the result of it. I feel it will be something very special. Things keep changing anyway, the phases keep changing, so we need to enjoy every single phase that comes up next. So if you're one of those people who's just guided to go, not even think, to just retreat, to just be, feel nature, that's it. That's your calling. And that's my cue to end it here, you guys, and the wind is saying yes. So I'll talk to you soon. So much love and a lot of peace. All the blessings that are carried for us here in this world and in all of creation. Take care, lovelies. Bye.